The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has gotten $20 billion returned to consumers in transactions from financial institutions. But I think that that's an undercount, or at least an underestimate of the impact that they can have on consumers, because what they set down as law of the land is that every consumer in every transaction matters. It's not enough for companies to do okay most of the time. They have to get every transaction right, and every person deserves the same amount of respect, no matter how powerless or how little income they have. I don't really like talking about my own personal history, but I think that it would be very illustrative of why I have so much respect for what the CFPB does, and so I will give it here. Um, the preface that you need to have is that I have at one point had a credit score that was so low I couldn't even get a subprime auto loan. In the when I was in high school, my dad had a credit card from a gas company, and I had a credit card like in his name to pay for gas while I was in high school. Well, 10 years later, I haven't used that credit card in a really long time, and he dies. And a few months after that, my car breaks down, and I have to go get a new one. And when I'm at the Mazda dealership trying to buy a used Mazda, they tell me that I can't because I can't, there's not a bank in the country that's willing to generate an auto loan for me. And I am horrified to discover, as they tell me over the phone, that my credit score is like 420, and that I have an account of 180-day non-payments sent into collection. And even though I was never the owner of the account and that I was only an authorized user for some time, that credit card that my dad had stayed on my account for another 12 years or 10 years. And when he died, it showed that I was in 180 days in collection. So it took I would say a full-time job of over a week of calling every credit agency, disputing the account, getting it removed, having to provide death certificates to them in each case, having to go somewhere to fax. I wasn't able to email it. I wasn't allowed to. Well, after this, I get really concerned about kind of like not knowing what is on this really important report. I had no idea that this could happen, and I froze all my accounts. Well, fast forward a few years, and I'm getting ready to buy a house, and we're trying to get a mortgage estimate and see how much, what kind of mortgage we can get. Well, one of my credit accounts is frozen, and I can't get it unfrozen. The other two, after a little bit of like working with it, I'm able to like get this, like, yes, this is me. Here's my social security number and so on. One of them just straight up doesn't work. And I mean, like, I email and I say, like, I can't get into my credit. They never email back. Their customer helpline is completely unhelpful. I try to call. They don't have a service for taking complaints over the phone. So, like, I am trying to get a mortgage. We're in the like throes of looking for houses and trying to put an offer. And like I'm holding my family up because I have a freeze on a credit agency and they literally won't pick up the phone. And then finally, I put in a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and I put all my information in, and I say that I have a freeze on my credit. I'm trying to unfreeze it for a mortgage. One of the agencies is telling me that I'm not authorized to. They won't answer the phone. They won't give me a way to do it. I've tried calling. There's no customer helpline for me to do with. I'm not going to be like, I don't know how I'm going to apply for a mortgage if I can't unfreeze my credit. Like 2 days later, get a phone call. Miss Edwards, I understand you're having problems accessing your account. We are delighted to help you in this endeavor. And, here at like insert garbage credit rating agency, we're here to help you in your financial endeavors. Problem gets solved in like less than 60 seconds. After a month of nothing, of me as a person, like, screaming into the void of like, how is it so hard for me to access my own credit? And yeah, they did it. It took no time, it took no effort. All it took was making someone have that credit rating agency pay attention to me and that I had a problem that it just simply wasn't worth it to them to solve. You are going to listen to this story and you're going to be like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm telling you, it doesn't make any sense. Do you think it makes sense to me that I wasn't able to access my own credit freeze, that I had my social security number, that I had like all these random questions and they're like, sorry, you got your favorite author from fifth grade wrong. So like, you don't get to have credit anymore. Like, it was so absurd, this whole process. I don't, yeah. So you're going to be like, wow, this doesn't even sound real. It doesn't sound real. It shouldn't be so hard to get a credit rating agency who you have like gone through the trouble of making an online account to pay attention to you. And yet they didn't, because I don't matter. And you know what? You don't matter. Not to them. You don't matter to any of them. This is why regulatory agencies and enforcement agencies like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau matter. Because at the end of the day, no matter how important you think you are nothing to these companies. And sometimes you get into a bad spot that doesn't even feel real, that doesn't make any sense, and they stand up for you and they get it solved. That is the importance of regulation over these businesses. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're malicious. I don't think that they're awful, but I don't think they get it right every time. And we deserve to have it right every time.